Thank you, sir. I'm Mike. I'm an alcoholic. I see a lot of faces that I don't recognize, and I just got to thinking about when I was new. I remember I had a question that I'm sure that a lot of people have. If you're new around here and maybe have a little time, I don't know if I have what it takes. I remember thinking that because I'd hear these old timers talk about the book, and I didn't even know what it was yet, and I couldn't recite the 12 steps, and I have a hard time still doing it now. But my point is that all this sounded like Greek to me and sounded real foreign, and I had some attempts to quit, and I had some failures, and I came in wondering if I had what it took, and that's what the topic is going to be about today, is having what it takes, and the comfort that comes with knowing that. There's an old guy that used to do comedy routines, Richard Pryor. He was on the stage doing a monologue, and he was playing a guy who was trying to get a job, and he was playing two parts: the one that was going to give him the job and the one that was trying to get the job. So he's playing the guy that's behind the desk looking at the resume, and he's like, "Mr. Pryor, I just don't know if you're what we're looking for. I don't know if you're responsible. I don't know if you're dependable." And then he switches roles and he says, "What do you mean I'm not dependable? For the last 5 years, I've had a $500 a day drug habit. I ain't missed a payment." Well, now that may not sound like it has anything to do with recovery, but really, in fact, it has a lot to do with it. Because the question is, do I have what it takes? And what that joke just proved is that there was a reservoir of energy that he used to not miss that payment. Now, we all know it's not about making payments. We're not known for our ability to make payments. But the real point of the story is that he did what it took to get what he needed to get. And there was a reservoir of energy there that he expelled on a daily basis to make that happen. And I'm here to tell you from my experience and share with you and report to you that when I come in here, that same reservoir of energy is available to me. If I will put the effort into this that I put into that, I will be successful here. And if you're new, you should take comfort in that. I hope you do. I certainly still do when I hear myself say it. And a lot of times I need to hear people say things that I have heard before because I have a built-in forgetter. I think I heard that somewhere. I didn't read that somewhere, but I certainly heard it somewhere. Dr. Bob says it in a different way in the back of his story. He talks about if you put half the zeal into this that you put into your drinking, your Heavenly Father will not let you down. And that's basically saying the exact same thing. There is a reservoir, like I said, of energy that if I'm willing to expel. Now with this realization comes some responsibility, doesn't it? Because all of a sudden, if I know that I can do something about this with God's help, and I choose not to, then there's really nobody to blame but me. And they say that's the double-edged sword to finding out that there is a way out, finding out that I do have what it takes. Because when I acknowledge that, and I choose not to do it, then I can't blame Andre or Fellowship House or the IRS or anybody else or the cops. I used to like to blame the cops and people in authority. The problem is they seem to find me more because I seem to do more. And what recovery has given me is the ability not to do anymore, not to create new wreckage of the present. I think that's real important to acknowledge that, what this program gives me, maybe for the first time in my life when I get here, is the opportunity to have a say in the direction of my life. Because I think I was running around without a rudder, powerless over the disease and where it was taking me, although really, in a real sense, with the tomfoolery and the ballyhoo I was doing, hell, I was running the rudder. I was just running it in the wrong direction. I was self-will run riot. I really was. I couldn't see it then. It took some steps. It took a fourth step to see that a lot of times I set balls in motion, like it talks about on 62. But all I could see is how y'all retaliated at me. And I culminated a whole list and a whole goodie bag full of resentments that I used to justify my behavior and justify how I was a victim and foster the idea that all these people had it out for me and there's nothing that I could do. And I'm here to tell you there is something you can do. And I'm going to end the topic with something that's out of the big book, something that may sound jarring, something that may sound like it goes against a lot of what you hear. But you know what? 5 in 100 make it. So a lot of what you hear is not what you need to be hearing. I mean, I think that the statistics would say that maybe I should be listening to some other things, because we're still meeting in this room after 30 years, and I've been here a long time. We're not meeting in the same room that I was meeting in. The parking lot was a house way back then. A lot of you don't know. But I've been here long enough to see that there is a revolving door here. And I've also been around here long enough to learn that if I work the steps, I don't have to go back through that revolving door. There's a guy in the fourth edition of the Big Book, on page 386. There's a story. I don't know what the name is, but I took this down because it's appropriate for this topic, and it goes along with what I'm trying to say. And this guy is saying a lot of the things that I've tried to say, that we have a say in the direction of our life. He talks about it here. Here I found an ingredient that had been lacking in any other effort I had made to save myself. Here was power. Here was power to live at the end of a given day. Power to have the courage to face the next day. Power to have friends. Power to help people. Power to be sane. Power to stay sober. That was 7 years ago and many AA meetings ago. And I haven't had a drink during those 7 years. Moreover, I am deeply convinced that so long as I continue to strive in my bumbling way toward the principles I first encountered in the earlier chapters of this book, this remarkable power will continue to flow through me. Now, he just got through saying everything that I was trying to say, except he probably said it better, that for the first time I have a say in the direction of my life. I realized that there was an energy that I was using out there to not miss that payment, like Richard Pryor said. And if I use half of that in here, I never have to go back out there and take another drink. And I can start to build a life in here that's worth living, that's worth looking back on with not regret, but with some pride. And pride is not always a bad thing here. I've had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, and I'll pass.